Welcome to No Prep, No Problem, where today we're talking D&D, board games, anime, and for some reason, the flavor of Switch cartridges. How did we get here? No idea, but we're rolling with it. If you've ever wondered why Switch cartridges taste like regret, or just love a good chaotic conversation, you're in the right place.
Welcome, everybody, to our podcast. I'm Prince Matthew Harry. I'll be the host of this particular topic we're going to discuss today. And to reveal our topic for today, I would like to play a little initials game with y'all. It's a very popular right alongside password. A lot of podcasts and radio shows like to play it. So the way initials work is I'm going to give an initials. And so it might be like HP, like Harry Potter. And so if it's HP, the answer could be Harry Potter or Hewlett Packard, something like that. And so I will give like 3 clues. Like if it was Harry Potter, I'd be like, oh, it's a kids to book movie series, involves magic. And then one of you would answer, you would raise your hand with your name. So Daniel, if you knew the answer at that point, you'd be like, Daniel, Daniel, Daniel. And I'd be like, Daniel. And then you'd be like, Harry Potter. And I'd be like, correct. That's how you play initials.
Okay.
So you can do initials game to reveal what our topic is for today. So the initials are DD. And clue number 1 is came out in 1974.
Scott.
Yeah?
Dungeons & Dragons.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
I would not have gotten that.
You get 11 points for one clue right out of the gates. Don't even get the full 10, you get the 11. That was amazing. Today's topic is Dungeons and Dragons and all associated tabletop RPG games and such.
Ooh, associated ones too. Nice.
Yes, yeah. Nice. You can, Betrayal at the House on the Hill, or I don't know if Settlers of Catan counts in that. Anything along the lines there.
I mean, those just seem like board games, not really associated to D&D, but let's do it.
Betrayal at the House on the Hill is a tabletop RPG Dungeons and Dragons board game. What Betrayal at the House on the Hill is, it is a mixture of it has a lot of Dungeons and Dragons qualities, while also having a lot of qualities of it's a Transylvanian-esque skeletons and zombies and werewolves and vampires and things.
Yeah, but it's not even made by wizards, dude. How could you call it associative if it's not even made by the same people?
It doesn't have to be. I don't know what other tabletop RPGs are out there. I'm sure there are ones out there that aren't made by wizards.
True. Anyways, keep going. What do we got going on? What's planned?
So I'm just curious as to each of y'all's history with Dungeons and Dragons, how much you've known about it, how much have you played, how much have you been a DM? Daniel, let's start with you.
I have played several versions of D&D, and by that I mean I have played exactly 1 round of Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition. I have played 2 rounds of Pathfinder, and that's it. I did do 1 session of D&D 5e as well, with some friends. So I have a varied and interesting relationship with it. But at the same time, I've listened to other podcasts on D&D, and listened to some D&D podcasts. So I actually know most of the rules from 4e, even though I've never played it.
Okay, and even though we're currently at 5e?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, it was just the version that podcast group decided to use before 5e came out, and they're like, hey, we're not going to change just because a new edition came out, because it's going to destroy our characters in some way, shape, or form, because they just mechanically they all work differently. Yeah. So that's all the D&D knowledge I have. What about you, Scott?
I have never played. I've always wanted to. I've always been into RPGs and stuff like that, so I definitely like that type of game. So I'm excited to try some out sometime. I've been meaning to for a long time, but I don't know a ton of people that do. I've had a few friends over the years that did play a little. But yeah, I look forward to learning more about it, and I definitely think it'd be right up my alley. As far as the genre of game goes.
Cool. Quite an interesting story. Actually, clues for the record, because Scott got it so on the nose. Clue number 2 was going to be can be played. And then clue number 3 was it is a storytelling element in the popular Netflix show Stranger Things. My whole journey with D&D started with Stranger Things. I saw Stranger Things, and what happened was I had just broken my glasses. My glasses broke, and all I had on me was a 90-ish% okay of my prescription sunglasses. And so my brother Andrew, with prescription sunglasses on, sits me down and says, Matt, there's like the coolest show ever that literally just came out. And I'm not going to tell you what the title is called. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'm not going to tell you anything about it at all. I'm just sit down and watch it. And we sat down and he hit play and we just watched it. And I had absolutely no idea what I was about to get into. And that first scene happens in Stranger Things, and it goes on from there, and I'm like, oh, it's like a horror thriller thing or whatever, and that's not usually my forte. But it was very weird to watch a show that's a very dark show set with like dark stuff whilst wearing prescription grade sunglasses. Because then when I finally got glasses, and I love the show more than anything, after the full watch through the entire season with the sunglasses, I then go back and rewatched it the second time with regular glasses on, and I go, oh wow, what a difference. It's not as dark anymore. And I liked it a little bit more the second time because it wasn't as dark.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the gorgonzolas attacking.
Yeah, but anyway, they had the opening scene or whatever. They have the opening scene or whatever of the show, and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm like, Dungeons and Dragons, what's that or whatever? And like as I watched the show over the years, more and more they've used D&D as like the storytelling element of like the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer and all that as different monsters or characters, that's in the story. And so I was like, okay, it looks nerdy and interesting enough that I think I might find it cool to potentially play whenever. But my problem was that I didn't know how in the universe to like find a group or maybe start one of my own if I've never played. And so I work at a department store, and one of my team members on my front end is like, hey, I am starting a team member Dungeons and Dragons group for all newbies. And you had mentioned earlier that you have never played before and that you were interested in playing. Would you like to join their group? And I was like, oh, sure. Okay. So we join, and I've been playing in that group for about the past year. And in the past year, I have had some of the funnest times of my life. It's truly been such a wonderful journey. And inspired by how awesome my DM has presented Dungeons and Dragons, I am currently getting ready to, sometime in the next 6, 7, 8 months, start my own D&D campaign, which I'm very excited to start.
Awesome.
Not to flex or anything.
Not to flex.
I'm just gonna show you my awesome D&D book that's just right here next to my chair. The
Nice.
Yeah, player's handbook, and of course it's backwards. That's great. But
it's not. Show me.
Oh, for me it's backwards.
No, I can see it. Okay. Player's handbook. Yeah, is that backwards to you, Scott?
Nope, that's completely forward.
Oh, so it's just mine. So okay, all right. I was wondering why mine looks
somehow.
Anyways, but I also have my other 5 books sitting down here on the floor. So while I have played exactly one session of D&D 5e, because the DM decided after that it was too many people in the group, and then he just never wanted to run one. I've also been contemplating running one. I have a bunch of stuff written down. I had started setting up a character for my wife. And at some point in time, I wanted to have you guys run one with me. But that's not until I can figure out either A, how to get all of this set up properly, or B, have you guys in the same room as me.
Sure, yeah.
So that will be part of this podcast at some point.
I will say, I will say, I have played D&D. Our campaign is called the Onslaught of Acheron, and I have played Acheron for the past year, and we have had quite a few sessions where, we were snowed in, and the roads are too bad because we're up here in Minnesota, so we had to do online D&D sessions like this. And I mean, I will say it is definitely much more fun, much more easier to coordinate and manage everything when it is in person. But that's not to say that you can't do it online via Discord, chat, or whatever. You can do that. You absolutely can do that. There's no problem doing that. There are tons of people that run D&D campaigns from chat rooms where like people have met from different parts of the world. Like that's okay to do. But yeah, I mean, once I move, I would love to hopefully do that with you in person, because the in-person experience, it really is much more rewarding.
Mm.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. Yeah, something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, I actually would like to flex too here. I have some show and tell items. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 metal D20 dice. They are extremely heavy.
Why do you have 5 of them?
Because I got one like a whole year and a half ago when I first started doing D&D, which I think was this one. And then my stepdad got me a 4-pack for Christmas.
Ah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And what I love about metal D20 dice, if you're going to get dice, I highly recommend metal over plastic. This is just a personal preference. I mean, plastic's going to be cheaper if you're going for a more affordable what you need for dice. And if you need a lot of dice, you probably want plastic, because then you can afford the lot of dice you need. Because metal is a lot more expensive. But metal is very rewarding to roll. It's a lot heavier, a lot denser, and it makes a lot better like sounds. Like when you roll it, like it's just a lot better sounds and stuff. And depending upon if you're rolling it in a dice tower, like this is a plastic tub, and I'm not getting a good sound off that.
Nah,
But
it always sounds better when you roll on wood.
Yeah, I don't really have got a box right here. Anyway, but what's great about metal dice, I want to put this out there for anyone who wants to try this. What my favorite thing about metal dice is that if you have a very hard surface, like a hard wooden table, it's got to be like flat, super hard wooden table, like no divots or anything in it. And you take a metal dice and you do the snapping motion like this, and you grab 2 points of the dice, and then you snap, you spin the dice, and if you spin it just right, and you've got a brand new metal dice, brand new wooden table, it can spin cylindrically on its own, whatever, for like 10 minutes solid. Like, and it's very, very entertaining.
Oh,
and
wow.
So one time we were at D&D, and I went to roll. We weren't even playing, like we were setting up, and I just spun the thing on the table. And it spun, I have it on video, and it spun all the way to the very, very edge of the table, and it was like a millimeter off of the table, spinning perfectly. And it was spinning so perfectly, like you couldn't even tell that it was spinning. Like it looked stationary. It was wicked. It lasted about 90 seconds, and then it fell off. But yeah, so my recommendation on dice is I highly recommend metal. So I have 5 of these metal ones. I have a bunch of plastic D6s from all the Yu-Gi-Oh! There's like these Yu-Gi-Oh! Boxes you can get that come with these really cool like dice that have like the 1, instead of it being a 1, is like the different like monsters or whatever from like that's Cyber Dragon or whatnot. So I have those, and then I also got this as I think a birthday present from one of my friends. It's metal dice, and it's in a full fancy case. And the fancy case
nice.
has a fancy dragon on the front.
So you have more than 5 metal D20s. You have 6.
I would say, yep, I take that back. I have 6 metal D20s.
You are a
Excuse
man
me.
with
Thanks for the
6
correction.
metal D20s.
Yes,
Impressive.
and technically I have 8, because another thing that I got for Christmas from stepdad was 2 bags of metal D dice, the full set like this. Like this is a full set. He got me a lot of dice. What he got for me for Christmas this year was dice, because I asked for a lot of dice, because I've got a lot of D&D things coming up and I need a lot of dice. So
Dice, dice.
he got me 2 full sets of the dice that I want to use for my campaign's ultimate final boss monster. And there weren't all that many left, and I knew that it's going to be a couple of years, maybe even, before I get to that point, and it would suck not to have the dice that they are so perfectly, beautifully. It's my favorite dice I own is these dice. I would show them, but I don't want to mess it up for you, Daniel, if for any reason. Seeing the dice, I don't want that to be a spoiler unless you want to. Like, I don't mind if you want to see them. If you don't want to spoil
I'll see
it,
them then. I'll see them then.
So we'll see them then. But the only other one I have was I got this my Dungeon Master Mary. She got everyone a set of dice as a present for Christmas. So I have these like carnelian looking ones. And what happened was they were all random dice. So they were like random dice packs, and we all opened the dice. And Mary got from Tanner. Mary got these, I think. And the ones that I got were these like white ones covered in blood. And I was like, can I switch with someone? It's not my usual kind of dice I like to play with. But yeah, so I have a lot of dice.
That's so cool, dude.
That's my whole dice collection minus my ultimate final boss monster one.
How much can these dice cost? The metal ones you were talking about, like
so like this set right here is a plastic set, and it's a full set, and maybe this might be like $8. Okay, this metal dice here, the full set of metal dice, I think this was like maybe $15 or so. The final boss monster one, the really nice ones, were $25. So
they can get super expensive.
Yeah, so it can be, and you can go to your, local game store, and you can get like just a single plastic D20 for like $1 or 25 cents, or something small. So dice can range anywhere between 25 cents, to like $25 for a full metal set. Yeah, and it's to each their own, because you can get something that's called dice towers. For those who are listening that don't know what dice towers are, it's just like a little decorative desk thing, and maybe it's like a castle tower or like a pirate ship, and there's an entry point and an exit point. So you drop all your dice in the top, and then it rolls, and it makes all kinds of cool sounds, and then it rolls on the bottom, and you can see what you rolled. So awesome. It's to make sure that you get a nice good dice roll, or the dice isn't as good of a roll. It gets a really nice roll, it gets a really nice sound, and it's just a really nice presentationally. For those of you who maybe want to do like a D&D podcast, like Heroes of Erois, or Critical Role, things like that. It's aesthetically cool to have like dice towers. I don't have one currently, but I want one.
Okay, we'll put that in the old.
I'm thinking a pirate ship. There's a pirate ship one. I think I want the pirate ship.
Note to self. Okay.
Torbeck is my favorite character.
What?
Torbeck is my favorite character.
Who is Torbeck?
Really? Didn't you just talk about? Is that the wrong D&D podcast? So I haven't
seen Critical Role.
No, not Critical Role. Yeah,
Heroes of Erois.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I've seen the first 2 episodes of Heroes of Erois. I'm in the middle of the 3rd one.
Oh, I don't
remind
know.
me.
I don't know
remind
how
me of the
many
character.
Seasons are. I don't know. The dude's name is Torbeck. He looks like a giant, like fuzzy teddy bear. I'm gonna double check now if I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
Well, no. So Heroes of Erois, they have like multiple campaigns, and so you might be naming a character from a different campaign. I'm watching the campaign where I don't know the names, but one of the guy is a one-winged bird, where his wing was like cut off, so he's like this one-winged guy, and so he does this like gesture with his wing like this.
Legends of Adventurous. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So I'm watching Heroes of Erois. That's the one that I'm watching right now.
Different podcasts. That's or different D&D thing. That's why.
But yeah, I mean, what I love about D&D the most is the ability to tell a story, because I feel like in a lot of cinema these days, especially, we used to use CGI as a medium to tell a story, but now I feel like all we do with entertainment these days is we just use a story to tell, ooh, cool, epic CGI. Let's just have a end of the world movie and blow up a bunch of buildings. But it's like, I feel like we're missing a lot of stuff there with storytelling. So I like the storytelling element of D&D. I think it's just a really, really cool, new, unique way to tell a story. A great example is the campaign we're in right now, Onslaught of Acheron. We're actually just about wrapping it up now, and the DM, she's getting a lot really busy in her life, and so we're tying it up. So we're doing this odd thing where we are fast forwarding like 7 sessions to the end. A little awkward, but it's also very fun to do that. And so we're closing it out now, and in the story, the way the story goes is there is the Emperor and the Empress of like this kingdom called Acheron, and Mechanus, excuse me, the city of Mechanus, and the evil Emperor and Empress like rule the land in a very like controlling kind of way, and there's some sort of a rebellion, like a under rebellion, trying to overthrow this evil couple who's ruling over everything, and there's the leader of the rebellion, and one of our party members gets to go onto a balcony where they meet a hooded, cloaked figure who is the leader of the rebellion, but you have to say like the magic password or whatever to prove that you're like of the rebellion. And so our character, she says the magic password or whatever, and then the person who's the leader of the rebellion says the password as well, and they take off their hood. And the leader of the rebellion is the Empress. And everyone went, "Wah!" And it's like, it's such a great way to just like tell the coolest stories.
So I was watching an anime recently called Goblin Slayer. Have either of you guys heard of this one?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
It's very gruesome to start. The first season better than the second. It ended up that the creator of it even admits that D&D was a huge like reason for him creating this. But any anime that starts out in the very first 10 minutes with sexual assault should definitely have a warning on it. So it leads out with goblins kidnapping and then doing things they shouldn't to young ladies around, and this guy, Goblin Slayer, just goes around murdering all the goblins. It's fantastic. But even in the intro scene of this anime, there are dice rolling, and it's like, oh, it's such a cool callback to D&D specifically. So he wanted to make a character that all he did was slay goblins. That's it. That's all this guy does. He only goes after goblins. And other people ask him for help. He's like, are there goblins? They're like, no. He's like, nope, going this way, not dealing with it. And then at the very, like, in the first season, there is a big baddie that is not a goblin that they're like, we're all going to die. And he's like, all right, I'm already here. So he helps kill this big baddie. And it's just like, oh, it's a very good anime if you guys are into it, but it is very bloody. And while I don't remember it showing anything, it definitely starts out on one of the darkest tones I've ever seen for an anime.
So it's definitely probably not something I personally would be open to, but you're saying it's a dark opening, kind of like oh gosh, what's the show that my other brothers love? Full Metal Alchemist.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, because I was turned off by the show by the opening scene. And I just like, nope, not my kind of show. Bye.
Oh, and that's too bad because that really is a fantastic series. And that's the only really time they have like one other time in that series that they do something like that.
The other one I can't do is Assassination Classroom. Because because the alien, I'm sorry, it's just too creepy.
He's just a giant squid.
He's just like, hi, I'm your teacher, everybody, and I'm going to train you to kill me in order to save the world. And it's just like, it's just
so good.
Too weird. Too weird.
Scott, do you not watch a whole lot of anime?
Not a ton. I did like years ago. Parasite was a good one.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I really got into that, and that was maybe 2016, 2017, something like that. Mm-hmm. I'd gotten back into anime because I grew up watching a lot of like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z to be specific. And in like 2016, 2017, I was working later shifts at night at work, and so I was up later at night than I am now. But it started it got to the point where I could watch Adult Swim at night, and it was like I think
Toonami.
Friday and Saturday nights.
Oh, Toonami.
Toonami, right? Exactly. Toonami would come on, and I watched DBZ again, and then I even checked out most of Dragon Ball Super.
Have you ever
that
gone
was really
back
cool.
and watched the original Dragon Ball?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
It's
The original from back in like what was it, late 80s?
yes, it's so good, but it feels so drawn out. Like to me, there's no reason why it takes so long for anything to happen in that anime, and yet it seems like every single episode is just one of those things where it's like, we're gonna just keep trying to get to the tower, and then like 3 episodes later they finally get to the tower. And I know Dragon Ball always like they're always like, one of the jokes, how many Dragon Ball Z characters does it take to change a light bulb? One, but it'll take 17 episodes.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
I never heard
Yeah,
that one. That one's funny.
I remember as a kid on watching DBZ, and this was when it was like basically when it had just come out over here in America. It would drag on and drag on, but it would build that suspense for you to want to tune in, next week. And when I was watching it, was actually on Toonami in the afternoon. So like after school, I'd watch it. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one. So I haven't watched a ton besides that. Like I said, I like Parasite. And then around that time, I think I was watching a little bit. What was the one? Academia.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia.
Jinx?
Yeah.
Yep.
Aha!
They're finally at the final season for that.
I started a little bit of that.
Finally.
And, a lot of people said that they liked, so I need to go back and watch all that. But yeah, a lot of
It's
people
not
said
complete yet. So like wait another like I'll let you know. I will definitely let you know because they're like they did a mid-season break on the last season. And the last anime that did this that really pissed me off was Attack on Titan. They're like, this is the final season. And then it took them like 3 years to bring out the final season because instead of just like they would do these season breaks. So it's like they'd have like 4 or 5 episodes. And then it's like you had to wait a whole nother year. But they're like, no, this is all the final season because they want to only be like 13 episodes or 26 episodes or whatever they drop. But they were doing the best they could, but it just took so long for them to bring out the episodes. That's just like, they're like, oh, this is the final season. It's like, cool. And then like 6 months after that, they're like, here's second part of final season. And it's like, cool. And then it still didn't end. And you're like, I thought this was the final season. What's going on? They're like, oh, there's just a third part to it. But My Hero Academia is doing the exact same thing. They got to like this mid-season point. They're like, it just stops. And you're like, what is going on? What happened? So
not Scott, Daniel, you haven't seen it yet, but Four Nights of the Apocalypse does the exact same thing. What they do is they release season 1, but it's only 12 episodes or 11 episodes. And then it just kind of stops midway and you're like, this doesn't feel like a end of season thing. And then you look up and it's like, oh, it's a 24 episode show, but we're waiting for episodes 12 through 24. And it's like another year. And then you get it. Mm-hmm. So currently we just had season 2 drop. And again, it's only like 10 or 11 or 12 episodes. And it just kind of stops randomly. Oh. We're waiting for the second half of season 2 to go. And it is kind of annoying. But I will say, though, Scott, potentially you could just start My Hero Academia now because it's a good 6 seasons right now. And by the time you get to season 6, hopefully we would have it. Because it's going to take you a while to watch it. The hope is that it will be out by the time you're done watching what's out so far.
I'm fairly certain, Scott, that by the time you actually do get to this final season, it might actually be out.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Because wasn't it which was it? One Piece has like an absurd amount of episodes.
Oh, dude, they're over 1,000. And my wife and I sat down and we watched it. We watched all of it. We caught up. We were there. We got to the most recent episode. We watched all 1,000 episodes. And
no way.
Oh yeah. Oh, we watched every single one, and it's fantastic. We loved it. But it's the same thing as Dragon Ball Z. It takes 8 episodes for anything to happen to the point. And they started doing like callbacks. They would start showing you the exact same thing that's already happened, and they did it like 3 or 4 times, like recap episodes. And it's like, I already have seen this. I just watched it last week because it only happened like 20 episodes ago. Why are you guys doing an entire episode that's a recap of the last episode? And it has to be that the reason they were dragging it out is because they wanted to make sure that the animation for the last part of that arc was just fantastically done. So they were like just adding fluff to give them time to finish the amazing episodes they were doing. Because some of them are just like, holy shit, that is amazing. I don't know how you animated this. It doesn't make any sense. But then at one point in time, they're storming an island, right? They're just like everyone's trying to get to it, and they're on the ice running towards the island because someone froze the ice in front of it. And just like Dragon Ball Z and trying to blow up Namek, it took 15 episodes. It took them 12 episodes to walk across ice. And I'm like, Luffy's been halfway there for like 5 episodes. How could he still not be there yet? It doesn't make any sense. That's the only complaint I have about it, is that they fluffed it and they drew it out for no reason. It's like, you know, this is why I appreciate a lot of animes of today, because it's like you're like, okay, this is only 13 episodes long. That's all this season is going to be, is 13 episodes, and shit happens. And you're like, how did you guys manage to make that much happen in 13 episodes? I don't know. Because I'm used to watching animes like that where it's like 50 episodes happen and you're still on the same island talking to the same evil bad guy, and it's like, why? Frieza should have been dead after he was cut one arm off and his torso off, and yet he still lived for another 6 episodes beyond that.
This is my brother's complaint with anime. Andrew, he has the complaint of, like, in Yu-Gi-Oh, the final battle with Pegasus at the end of season 1, it's 5 episodes. It's a 5-parter. Normally you have like a 2-parter when it's like your final whatever, and it's a 2-part, so you can give it a to be continued in between to build the drama. But when you keep going, to be continued again, continue for to be continued one more time, and then finally it's over. It's like, it's just too many parts. You don't need 5 episodes.
I remember, wasn't that with Pegasus, because they introduced the whole like Toon World and like the Toon
World and everything into the Relinquished battle.
Relinquish, yeah.
Yep. So
that was so cool though.
Some animes do that, and I feel like certain animes drag on, and certain animes, like you said, Daniel, are very concise and to the point. I think there's a lot of things that go into that, though. If you're a studio that, you need to put out a lot of episodes where nothing really happens so you can work on your really good one. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's some of that out there. And then there's others, like maybe where if you already for years and years and years already have been writing the story and you finally get the green light to do the project, you don't need all the fluff. Like you've already got, you're good to go. It's done. Like, you can just go.
And that was kind of one of the complaints with the first Full Metal Alchemist, because there's Full Metal Alchemist and there's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Okay.
Brotherhood, yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist, the story wasn't completed yet. The author who started the graphic novel hadn't completed the story, so they caught up to him and they went, I'm going to go this way and figure out what we're going to do, and we're just going to make something. And while they did a good job creating a story, a lot of people were like, that sucked. And then when Brotherhood came out, they're like, this actually follows the story all the way, and it makes a lot more sense, and it's a lot more concise. It's like, cool. It just makes more sense. It when someone takes those artistic liberties with somebody else's IP, it throws it all out the window. So it's like, I would rather, some of the things have happened, like with Attack on Titan. They didn't know how that was going to end, which is why it took so long for it to come out. They didn't know how My Hero Academia was going to end, even though the creator was like, it's all up here. I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen, but I haven't finished getting to the end yet. I think the same thing happened with Game of Thrones, didn't it? Where, what's his name was like, I'm going to create Game of Thrones. And he's like, oh yeah, the story's already done. I just need to write it. I never watched Game of Thrones.
I know that J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter did that, because literally filming, I think either at the first movie, I think it was for the first movie, J.K. Rowling had to sit down Alan Rickman, and only Alan Rickman, and tell him absolutely everything about Snape, because he needs to know to be able to play the character properly. Mm-hmm. So she told him all the ideas she already had about his whole entire character arc, so that he could play it accordingly. So yeah, some people do have it planned out all the way. Others come up with a concept, put out an episode or a first season of a show, and then they're like, I think Stranger Things did that. They had a one season show for Stranger Things. And at the end they went, oh, it's like the number one most popular show on Netflix. Oh, okay, everyone quick, let's write some more. So yeah, I mean, I myself also, I'm not going to say the name for copyright purposes, but and Scott, I don't think knows this about me, but I'm like a man of 50 different creational projects. And my number one biggest project is I have an action epic fantasy series I've been writing for 25 years since I was 9 years old in 1999. So it's my quarter century anniversary this year. And for my action epic, I in honor of the quarter century anniversary, that's actually my D&D campaign that is going to be my first campaign that I plan on doing like about September-ish whenever I move back to Raleigh. It's going to be where I am setting everyone in the world of my action epic I've been writing forever. And so for that one, off what we were just talking about, between those who have a story written and they can do stuff concisely, or those who take forever to do fillers, I'm going to be fine because I have already written all 120 pages for the entire outline of the campaign. It's already done. It's done. I don't need to do filler sessions. I'm good. Whereas others, a lot of D&D campaigns, they usually write it about a session or 2 or 3 ahead, and that's all they've got. I think that's how Mary did hers. Was we only had it 2 and 3 sessions, planned out.
Yeah, that's all I have right now is about 6 sessions worth of content that I want to do.
That's a good number to start with.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good number to start with.
Well, here's the thing. Having never done it before, I don't know if that's actually like 6 sessions or if that's just like what I imagine 6 sessions will be. We'll find out when we get there.
I have the same problem. Yeah. It's more of like you have 6 stories, like Lord of the Rings, right? We're in Morier, and Morier is the start of when you get there, so right after you fight the Balrog, and that's like session 4 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then session 5 is you're in Lothlorien and doing all kinds of things up to like the Uruk-hai Tech, like, you know what I mean? And so like I have that too of like, this is my session when you're in this cave, and this is my session when you're at this fortress or whatever. But I don't know. That one session could be 3 sessions long. It could be 5 sessions long. Or you could do it in half a session and now all of a sudden have to pull something out of your ass for the rest of it.
Right. And that's I'm worried about that, but at the same time, I'm great at improv.
Oh yeah, I love the improv quality of D&D. I will say, because I've seen more episodes. I've seen all of the Whose Line Is It Anyway shows backwards and forwards, except for the British one. And so, Improvaganza and all of the original one, yeah, except for the original British. I've seen all the rest of Whose Line and Drew Carey's Improvaganza as well, and all like the spin-off shows. And I love the improv quality of D&D, and I also like the fact that it's not 100% improv. Like I say it's 50-50. Like you have a plan, okay, we're going to go to Morier, and you've got it outlined, but there will be things that will happen for those out there that are wanting to become a dungeon master and make your own game. When you are writing your story, know that the way the D&D works, it's about 50-50. Half of it you can plan out. The other half is the things that your players are going to have their characters do that you have no idea that they are going to do or ask or request for, that you would then have to go, yeah, sure, we can do that.
Good point. Really, yeah.
Yeah.
How's your improvisational skills there, Scott?
Probably average persons, like maybe slightly above average.
Yeah.
Okay. Intermediate.
Yeah. We like intermediate. That's fine.
Intermediate. Okay. I'm somewhere in between advanced and expert. I don't think I'm full expert, but I'm like definitely advanced because I've taken a lot of theater classes and improv classes and watched all the shows. But occasionally Occasionally I might freeze up and like, oh, I don't know what to say. What do I say? I don't know.
The cat.
Giraffe.
The giraffe. Oh, you didn't get my call.
Oh no, this door's on fire.
No, that was a reference to a very specific skit from oh wow,
Whose Line?
hard. Yes, Whose Line? Thank you.
Whose Line? Oh man, no, it's not
Babies make
Giraffe.
me
It's
tired.
Albuquerque. It's Albuquerque. I was gonna say Albuquerque because that's a reference to National Treasure. When he's like, "Oh, Albuquerque." See, I can do it too.
I
Snorkel.
that's Jesus. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yep.
And here I was thinking you were trying to talk about Weird Al's Albuquerque.
No, what? What? I
Yeah,
don't know what that
Weird Al.
is.
He does a whole song about Albuquerque. It's like 12
I
minutes
thought he did a
long.
whole. I thought he did a whole song about a long, long time ago
Yeah, he did
in a
that too.
galaxy far away.
Naboo
Yeah.
was under an attack.
Under an attack.
Anyways,
Battle droids are broken. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, D&D and anime seems to be our topics of today. I actually am wearing my sloth shirt because funny story, my favorite anime of all time is Shaman King. Second favorite anime of all time, Seven Deadly Sins. And I very much identify with Fairy King Harlequin, the character in the show, and he is the sin of sloth. And my favorite animal used to be the vampire bat. And then I moved into the what we call the tree house. It's what my family calls where we were in Chapel Hill. It was called it the tree house because there it was a duplex house and we were on the back end and it like overlooked just a huge jungle of trees. And that's where I had my copperhead snakebite. That's where the snakes were. We also had pouncing on the walls Carolina wolf spiders, which are literally bigger than my hand. From the top of the leg to the bottom of the leg. And their body is about that big. The body itself. They are absolutely horrifying and humongous. And worst of all, they pounced on the wall that was like along the side of the walkway that we had to walk down the walkway to get around to the back of the house where our unit was. And Carolina wolf spiders are that big, and if you startle them, they scurry away at 25 miles an hour. Having something bigger than my hand move 25 miles an hour scares the crap out of you. So we had the snakes, we had the spiders, and then we had, the last thing was, bats then moved into the attic, and we were like, and we're out of here. So my favorite animal was vampire bat, until we had the bats moved in the attic. And then I'm like, and bats are no longer my favorite animal. And then Seven Deadly Sins came out, and I identified so well with the character that now sloths are my favorite animal.
Okay, fair enough. Where was this last episode with the fear episode?
Right? That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, we should just jump this clip in there as like a cameo. Well,
No. That's part of this episode now. People need to watch that episode.
Well, we will reference every episode. We'll reference the previous episode somehow. We'll chain them all together. That's how.
Oh, good luck with that.
To keep everyone interested in watching, you got to keep watching because if you've missed our fear episode and you don't know what we're talking about from my whole snake bite and bee sting story, etc., then you might be a little lost. But no, yeah, it's. I will say that now sloths are my favorite animal. I think my second favorite animal would be humpback. No, my third favorite animal is humpback whales, and my second favorite animal are ants. I love ants, which we did discuss last time. But Daniel, what is your favorite animal?
The moose. Oh, there goes my windscreen. Hang on, I gotta get that back.
Oh no!
There we go.
There's too much wind.
There we go. Yeah, the moose, of course, the majestic moose. I one day hope to have a moose that I can ride around. I bought a bunch of land up in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, and it's not quite as far up as Canada, but I'm sure I can get a moose there sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
actually have moose as a pet, or just you have moose on your land that's wild moose?
I do first one and then the other.
Okay.
They'll start out wild, but I shall eventually domesticate all the meese on my property. It'll be great.
I would love to have a pet sloth, but there are only 1,500 left in the world.
Hey, that just makes it sound like you need to have a pet sloth.
I need to have a pet sloth.
Yeah.
What about you, Scott?
There's only 1,500 left in the world, really.
Yeah, they're super endangered. Super endangered.
I didn't know it was
because we cut down their rainforest homelands for newspaper and printer paper. Yeah, so sloths are losing their habitat, and then they're kind of they're not a very aggressive creature. They're very very passive, and so that they, they're prone to predators a lot. I mean, they have a lot of defense mechanisms, but they're prone to attacks from other animals, losing their habitat. One thing led to another. But Scott, what is your favorite animal?
They say animal is man's best friend, who will be by your side until the very end. Even if you're walking around with your hands full, just turn around, you dangus. Your best friend's an animal. That was a quote from Dr. Steve Brule from Check It Out, Adult Swim show. I had to. It was there. Whatever.
Okay. So by the way, Daniel, you got 5 points earlier for your Dragon Ball Z light bulb joke. And
thank
Scott, you also got. Yes, we were talking and I couldn't jump in. And then Scott, you also get 5 points for that lovely quote.
Thank you.
Was lovely. That was so adorable.
Thank you. Every episode every episode would be about a certain topic, and he would always have this intro, and it was just it was ridiculous. Like everything was. I remember he had one from food, and I remember one about food, and I remember the exact. It's hilarious. It's just the guy's great, John C. Riley. Yeah, okay. My favorite animal is a dog. Man's best friend.
That's what I thought, because the poem made it sound like your favorite animal was an animal. I'm like just your favorite animal is all of the animals? I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, yeah, he was just in that specifically. He was just talking about animals in general. And then after that, he said, "Guess what we're talking about today? Animals." So basically, you don't know what the show's going to be about until he says that. Until he says his little poem that he always does, and they're always ridiculous. Yeah, love dogs. Man's best friend. They are awesome. Most of my life, I've had dogs. Currently, I do not, but for the majority of my life, I've always had one. And if I'm gonna go one that's a little more, I don't want to say out there, but something a little like different than dogs, I love penguins, man. They're awesome. They're so
little
cute.
tuxedos.
Little tuxedos. They're well dressed all the time. Yeah, the way they walk.
And of course, they
you
bow to
know.
each other. Mr. Penguin, Mrs. Penguin.
Mrs. Penguin. Yes.
Happy
Daniel gets another 5 points for the How I Met Your Mother reference.
Woo.
Oh, damn. All right, yeah, I get it. Yeah. I get it. Yep. Damn it. It's been so long since I've seen it, but yes, okay.
So Scott, this must be why you and I get along so well, because I have Labrador energy out the wazoo.
Yes, I think that's fair to say. Yeah.
Wait, and Labrador energy, as in you also like dogs, or like what?
No, as in I am a dog.
Ah,
I act like a lab all the time.
What's up, dog?
What up?
I see. Oh, I see. Wolf.
And Daniel is a good boy. He's a good man. So, you know.
Hi there.
Well, see, that was a My Hero reference, which I'm actually realizing now Daniel, of course, should get, but Scott, you might not get because you haven't seen it yet. My apologies, Wolf.
I will check that out, though. I am very excited.
I mean,
for
the first, it's the end of the 4th episode. I always look at animes. How soon am I hooked on the show? I was hooked on My Hero Academia at the end of the 4th episode, even though the 5th episode has my favorite scene in the show. But still, the end of the 4th episode, you get your full beginning story arc, and that's your plot hook. You're looking for the hook of what hooks you in the show.
Yeah, I always give everything 3 episodes of anything. If I'm not hooked by the 3rd one, I don't keep watching.
Okay. I think 3 is a fair, Oh, another one that made me think of One Punch Man was pretty cool. I watched a bit of that too, and this was all in that same time frame when I was, because it would just be DBZ at 8 p.m. or something. Then it would go to, or Dragon Ball Super, I think it was specifically, and then it would go to My Hero Academia. Then it would just it would just keep going and going different ones. So I saw a little bit of a bunch of different ones, and they all seem really cool, man. Honestly, so.
There's a lot of good anime out there. There's also a lot of trash anime.
Yeah. And a lot of it's mainstream and a lot of it's niche. Example, my favorite anime of all time is Shaman King. I was with a group. I was with my D&D group a couple nights ago. We were doing our pre-Valentine's Day celebration or whatever. And I mentioned my favorite anime of all time is Shaman King. Raise your hand here. Does anybody know what Shaman King is? All 8 people did not raise their hands. So I was very upset that no one knows about my favorite anime, which is Shaman King, which is very, very good. And there's 2 different versions of it, though. Like you said, with Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. With Shaman King, there's original, like, 2003-ish Shaman King original. Then there's the Netflix reboot, which came out in 2021, I believe. I mean, I personally love the original better, but the second one is still very, very excellent. It's just different.
Can you give us a little bit, without any spoilers or anything, like maybe a brief overview of it?
Shaman King is basically about people who are shamans, and like we're in a world of, you know, normal people, muggles or whatever, and then the people with powers. Normal muggles, and then the people with powers. The people with powers in this universe are called shamans. And shamans have the ability to channel the spirits of warriors, like samurai warriors that died thousands of years ago. And so you channel that samurai warrior into your body, and now all of a sudden you are Shama Furioku, whatever the guy's name is, and you all of a sudden can do all these super ultra awesome badass sword moves because that spirit is channeling through your body, and now you can just do all these cool, awesome sword moves. And
that rings a bell. Yeah,
yeah. So the whole show is about the Shaman King tournament to see who is the best shaman in the world who can become a Shaman King. That's the whole show. That
sounds awesome, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and the magic attacks are all very cool, both in the original and the Netflix version. I really love the story, and I really love the Netflix version for doing something that I feel like we don't get enough out of, I don't want to call it failed entertainment. I don't want to call it that. But Shaman King had 2 seasons, the original, and because the show just got canceled, it just kind of stopped in the middle of the plot line, like right in the middle of the tournament. So we never got to see the ending. So what the new Netflix show did was season 1 of the Netflix show is seasons 1 and 2 of the original show. And then season 2 of the Netflix show is like all the stuff we never got to see and the ending.
Oh, nice. Okay, well played.
Yeah, at least that's the way I'm remembering it. I do also for, I think, Christmas, not last year, but the year before last, I got the entire collection of Shaman King on the Blu-ray, and so it's like my next thing to watch. I have so much other things digitally to watch, and it takes a hot minute to set up a DVD player. And I guess I just get lazy. But no, I'm very excited
on the Blu-ray that you're going to use with your DVD player.
It's like a DVD Blu-ray combo player. You know what I mean?
I do. I just like teasing you.
I know. It's fine. It's okay. I prefer physical media over digital. Just saying. That's always been my thing. Both with movies and, video games. I much prefer, like with Nintendo Switch, having Metroid Prime Remastered, like the cartridge, and I can put it like in the thing, and I have the nice fancy case that I can put on display in my room. I like that versus just, I got a digital code. Or not even a code. You go and you click download and whatever.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you all like one or the other, but I love physical media. Me personally.
I mean, you just want to lick the cartridges.
Yeah, I like blowing in the cartridges too. That's always fun.
That's a great Nintendo 64 callback to that one.
No.
Yeah.
You know the Switch cartridges have an anti eating coating on them, right?
What does that mean? What?
If you go and lick a Nintendo Switch cartridge, it tastes like sour apples. They put a bitter flavor on the cartridge itself,
so that kids don't try to eat it.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to demonstrate this, Matt? Go and grab a Switch cartridge and lick it.
No, I am not. Would you like to go and demonstrate? It's your idea. You can't mention that.
Oh, so all 3 of us have Switches.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
all 3
awesome.
have Switches.
That's
Here we go.
Nice.
Yep, it's bitter. It's gross. Try it.
Ew. That's 10 points for bravery, sir.
Oh God, that's
ew.
awful.
Yeah, that's why you get 10 points.
Oh, that was awful. Oh my, Scott, you gonna try it? Come on, join the cool club. Lick a Switch cartridge.
You get 10 points if you lick it.
Okay. Let me go grab one.
Yeah, go grab it. Come on, Matt. Be one of the cool
I-
kids. Lick a Switch cartridge.
I am not licking a Switch
Lick a
cartridge. You know
Switch
me and
cartridge.
my taste buds are really bad. I don't wanna.
You'll enjoy this. It's a great flavor.
Oh yeah.
Come on, you know you want to be one of the cool kids. Peer pressure, Matt. Peer pressure.
No, peer pressure. Yeah, you ain't got no pressure on me. No, you know what's funny? Do you know what is the single great? I don't want to. This isn't a bad thing. I don't even know if I should say this to you, but I don't mind saying it. The biggest $15 waste of my life. You know what it is?
What?
When I got Stardew Valley for you so we could play it on my Switch, not knowing that it wasn't cross-platform and I needed to get it on Steam or whatever so that we could connect our islands or whatnot. So I literally bought the game, never touched it, and it's just sitting on my Switch, taking up space.
I don't remember you ever telling me you got this game.
I sent you a photo with Stardew Valley, Chasm, and game with the puzzle. Baba is
hang
you.
Hang on.
And
He's gonna do it.
Surprised you.
Hey, wait, come a little closer to the camera. Come a little closer.
Come a little closer to the camera.
So Pokemon Sword, by the way.
Ooh, that's gonna be delicious.
That was a very good. That was a very good game, by the way. So what? Lick the metal part?
No. The sticker.
Interior menu.
The sticker itself.
The sticker.
Yep.
Like the sticker is. Oh, it's on the sticker.
It's on the sticker. Yep.
It's not on the metal piece that goes into the cartridge in the game?
Nope, it's on the sticker.
Oh, it's on the sticker.
At least I know it to be on the sticker.
Okay, now mind you, I haven't licked it. I'm about to, but remember, I got this when this first came out, which was like right before COVID.
Oh,
so this is. I don't know if it's still.
Does that change the quality?
That way.
Yeah, maybe it's like old. Nice.
Oh God, thank you for that. All right, here we go. Let's try it. Not getting much from it, dude.
No?
Okay, yeah, now I
can 10 points.
Thank you.
It's a delayed flavor. It's delayed, isn't it?
It's delayed, and then I feel like it's very sharp, like a high.
Oh yeah, it hits you. It hits you quick, and then it dissipates.
It's interesting. So they did this to stop people from eating this because they're so small.
Yep.
Kids, yeah.
They didn't want kids to swallow them. And if you put, and that is a very specific flavor, and I believe Nintendo developed that specifically for this cause.
For the Switch specifically.
Yep, because it's not on any of their other stuff. Not that I know of.
Yeah, because nothing else was too small to. Because back when,
I mean, advanced cartridges,
cartridges were big.
Advanced cartridges aren't too much bigger. It'd basically be about the size of like 2 Switch cartridges, but they're also thicker. So yeah, I think they were worried about really little kids.
Yeah, because it is. I forgot how. I haven't played my Switch in a while. I forgot how small those cartridges are. They're tiny. So
they're the size of like the tip of your thumb, basically. Like,
yeah,
they're not that big.
You could easily swallow one, like pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many points does that get, Matt?
That also got 10 points. Y'all talk for 1 second. I'm gonna go get one more super quick show and tell item that I want to go grab.
I hope
be right back.
Switch cartridge.
Okay. Daniel, so what games were we going to play together on the Switch? I think Smash was one of them, right?
Smash is one of them. I only own like 3 other games. My
Same. What you got?
So well here. So quick story time. My friends bought me my Switch, and I'm very grateful for that. Unfortunately, they bought it for me at COVID. During COVID.
During.
Actually, it had to have been my birthday just before COVID. I was playing a lot of, they got me Animal Crossing.
Oh.
So what is that, New Leaf? Is that the one that was on the Switch?
Dude, I wanted to check that one out, absolutely.
Yeah, so they had got me my Switch and that for my birthday in July, right before COVID. No, scratch that. It was during COVID, because that's when I met my wife. So I met my wife, like, I don't know, 2 weeks before my friends got me a Switch. So my friends got me a Switch, and then I met a woman, and so I had to use my time wisely and only participate in one of those things. So
right.
I ended up spending more time
made
hanging
the-
out with my wife than ever playing
You
video
made the
games.
right choice.
Yes. You know, here it is 4 years later. We're married and we have a kid. So I said that that's well worth it. But I feel bad because it's like I played it for like I probably have less than 100 hours on my Switch. So,
Doesn't it tell me how many hours you've played?
I don't know. I've never looked.
I
I
think
don't,
it does it per game. It's in like the settings, and you can go in. Hold on, I'm gonna see. Users data. There's a way that you can go on and see.
that's not relevant right now. Don't worry about it.
It's not relevant right now,
Are
but yeah,
you gonna look
there is a way that you can go on, and it will tell you like Super Smash. At least 120 hours played or whatever.
Yeah. You gonna lick a cartridge, Matt?
Not gonna look a cartridge.
Come
I'm
on,
just gonna be
Matt.
like, this is Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
For those of you who want to play it, who are listening, this is the second edition? This is the second edition. Ooh! Oh, okay. All right. Okay, now hold on a second. Which edition? I'm going to tell my edition. You tell me yours after. My edition is the second edition, which the very first time that I played Betrayal at the House on the Hill was with at not y'all's wedding, but the other ones.
Richard and Claire?
Yes, correct. Richard and Claire's wedding. We played Betrayal at the House on the Hill in the lobby of the hotel, and I fell in love with the game so much I got my own copy. I'm the second edition. I think there's currently a third edition out there, and I could have bought the third edition, but I chose to buy the second edition because it's the edition we played. So I'm going for memorabilia factor for me. Daniel, which version do you have over there?
Yeah, no, this is Widow's Walk. This is an expansion. This is the only expansion they made as far as I know. That's why it says Widow's Walk, an expansion.
An expansion.
Yeah.
Wait, so can you play the expansion version of the game? You need my box as well, plus that box.
Well, I mean, it's an expansion, Matt.
Okay, gotcha.
So it expands upon the original.
Upon the original, got it. Cool. Just making sure. You know, it's like
So
sometimes you can get like it's Cards Against Humanity plus an expansion. Oh, there you go. All right, matching sets.
I don't think so. Mine has characters in the bottom corner.
Ooh, how's this yours slightly different?
I don't know. Mine says second edition as well.
Well, regardless.
Here you go, Matt. See, second edition.
Second edition. Yeah, it's just a different cover for some reason.
Just
somehow.
slightly.
But Daniel, you get 5 points for having your own Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
I perfect. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But yeah, my last comment on that, of all the things I've got in my brain right now on this, for those who haven't played Betrayal at the House on the Hill, the way it works is that you spend the first half of the game building your own custom-made haunted mansion from scratch. It's completely different every time you play it, with like these, is it cardboard tiles? You call that cardboard? It's cardboard, right?
Yeah, they're
cardboard tiles.
Yep.
Cardboard tiles. And so it's like first floor, second floor, and then like basement level or whatnot. And then though you spend the first half of the game building the haunted mansion from scratch. And then the second half of the game happens when somebody rolls a certain kind of dice in a certain room or whatever that triggers something called the haunt. And when the haunt happens, one of 50 stories in the storybooks unfold. And usually in the stories, one of the people in the group is now a traitor who's out to get everyone else in the group. So I think an example story would be like, I'm a witch who's trying to turn all of the rest of everyone in the group into frogs. And if I can turn all of you into frogs before you all can kill me, then I win. But if y'all can defeat me before I can turn all of you into frogs, then the group wins. So it's a great turning the table against each other game. That's why I love it so much.
That's so cool, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're at 105 right now.
Sounds like an episode to me.
Yeah.
Impressive episode. I like it, dude.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons, board games, and anime. Those are great. I love those. I could talk that all day.
Clearly.
Oh yeah. We'll look,
Yeah.
guys. We'll have more episodes on this kind of stuff going
Oh,
forward.
for
'Cause
sure.
we love this stuff so much that, like I said, we can talk all day about it. We can make 20 episodes. You know what I mean? Like, so that's exciting.
All right,
Good
host.
topic today, Matt.
Yeah,
I like
what do
it.
you got for us?
We're tallying score. All right. Today's winner is, by only merely 1 point, is the Scot.
Ah!
Wow,
Oh,
dude, that's nice. Awesome.
I thought those
Thank
extra
you.
5 points at the end were going to help me.
That's
It
what
did.
I was gonna
The
say.
final count was 25-26. It would have been a tie, except you got the full 11 points.
11.
I would have given you the 10 points. I like the 5 points or the 10 points. 5 points is like you did something cool, like a cool little joke. 10 points is you had something really awesome, cool happen. But you got the first clue right out of the gate came out in 1974. Really? Like really? Like, it was so over the bounds. You got the extra 1. You got the 11.
Nice.
That did it, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And by the way, how crazy is that the game came out in 74? That is wild. That's mind blowing to
Yeah,
me.
75 and 25, and so it's 50 years. Yeah, I think if they're on their 50th anniversary, it's either this year or last year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It's perfect timing. My brother is calling me. Shall we end the episode here?
Sounds good.
Sounds good, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Do I get 30 seconds
you
of free
do.
time?
Yeah, you do.
Oh god, yes, awesome. So this is also going to be game related. I'm super excited for this. I'm a big fan of Elden Ring, and today it started with their new game, Night Rain.
Mhm.
They were doing the alpha test starting between today, tomorrow, and Sunday. 5 sessions between 3 days. I'm only going to be able to make it to tomorrow's, which is from like 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. But super excited to check that out and see what's going on with it. Yeah, and it's slated to drop in late May, I believe. But I'm gonna check that out tomorrow. Super excited about that. So
Cool. Well, I hope you have fun with that.
thank you. Thanks, guys, for watching. Let us know in the comments what kind of topics and things you want us to talk about going forward in the future.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
There's Matt.
he's back. He's still muted. Unmute yourself.
I've
There we
unmuted
go.
myself to inform you that we had refrigerated contents delivery at the door, and I had to go and grab them. This has been our podcast on Dungeons and Dragons. Next time is whatever is going to be next time. Until then, I'm going to roll some dice. Double 13s!
Oh, that's lucky.
No way.
And scene!
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye!
Well, that was a wild ride. D&D, anime, animal debates, and an unfortunate experience with a Switch cartridge. If you enjoyed this chaotic mix of nerdiness, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and tell us, what's your favorite anime or tabletop moment? Till next time, roll high, and maybe don't lick your Switch games.